TSF Entertainment.
What up, though? Welcome back to TSF Entertainment, and we are back again. This time, bringing you BMF episode for the Prodigal Son. I think that's how you say it. Don't quote me.
Return of the Prodigal Son, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Of course, we got none other than our Detroit native, a man himself, Jack of Jordans.
What up, though?
And we got our lovely special guest. She is back again from Shade in the City. It's Treese.
I feel like Nikki in this family, in this TSF family. I'm like the Nikki.
Don't do that.
I'm gonna read y'all down.
Don't do that. Because Nikki probably should have got backslapped.
Man, what? I can't wait to talk about that scene right there. So before we get into it, what y'all think of the episode?
I'm gonna give it an 8. If I don't want to give it a 9, this was probably one of my favorite, and y'all know why, but we'll get into it. But I really liked this episode. I did. It was much better than last episode. I'll say that. I told y'all before we got up here. I said I feel like it's a makeup for what we saw last week.
Yeah.
I feel as though it was definitely a bounce back episode, man, because I was so disappointed. Last week I just was kind of like, oh, we ain't learned nothing. This was kind of like, it felt like a filler episode that we should have got later, or we actually didn't need it all. But this one was pretty good. Some of the things I already kind of knew because of the backstory. They still really don't give T his just due, obviously. We knew T was gonna backpedal on a couple of things, and Meech is still Meech.
Meech is Meechin'.
Yeah, so I like if I out of 10, I say probably about 7.5 or 8.
Okay.
I give it an 8 too. I'm with Trace. I give it an 8. This one was way better than last week's episode. Like this one, like we can tell from this episode, I can tell it's just about to go up from this point.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like it's about to go up for real. So yeah, it was just like the way it was put together, the way it was shot, the way it was edited. It felt like all the scenes, there was no scenes that needed to be cut out of this episode because it all tied in. It all
I
meshed perfectly.
100% agree.
Like everything meshed perfectly. I mean, maybe the Ring King will get to it, but other than that, everything matched up perfectly. So let's go ahead and get into it. Episode 4 synopsis says Meech returns to Detroit upon Columbia Connect Loco's request to pick up weight for BMF. The amount of weight is insurmountable for him to handle alone. That was a big word. So thus he solicits help from Terry and the Detroit team.
I gotta know if this is true though. Like that's a lot to move in that short amount of time. That is great. Like they would have to cut their prices so crazy,
right,
in order to make that happen. But I get why they did it.
I mean, they did. I really want to know if that story true too. I'm gonna have to.
I was coming to the source, and I said, they gonna know if this is a true story.
I don't know. That's a lot. Like I need something because that's a lot. If they're doing that's crazy. I'm not saying that they can't, but for that amount in that amount of time, that is nuts.
Yeah, I agree with that. So the episode kicks off with Meech and Loco. They passing blunt back and forth, getting everything set up, and Loco tells Meech of the weight that's coming into Detroit. Meech wants to hit up Terry, hit up T, let him know, like, yeah, I can move it there, but Loco doesn't like T, so he tells Terry that he needs to be the one to go out to Detroit. Javier comes down the steps with the phone, with the pilot online, and realizes that the pilot speaks English, which Javier doesn't, which is weird to me, because I'm like, if Javier is supposed to be
the
quote-unquote, translator, how he
translate?
No. So I hear you with that. I felt the same way, and then I had to, rewind it back. And what he's really saying is he felt like, he's first of all he's a gringo, and if y'all know y'all should know what that means in Spanish. So basically he's like, something ain't right. He speak English too well. I don't know how Cena was really doing business with him. So he basically thinks he's suspect, is what it is. And that's why it's not that he's not a good translator, it's he feels like he's suspect. So he don't really want to, you know what I mean, be the one to give the okay.
Yeah, you know what? Now that you just said that, I forgot about that. That's right, because he thought he was a Fed.
Right.
And that's when Meech was like, "Yo, hand me the phone. I'll talk to him to see exactly how it was." And then after he got off the phone, he was like, "Yeah, nah, he ain't a Fed because Fed's not gonna ask for the money,
right,
or whatnot." Dang, I ain't peeped that. That was a good peep right there. And of course, after that, then Loco's like, "Yeah, I told you, Dimitri's a smart guy." That Dimitri is killing me though, because I'm like,
it's funny.
It sounds like the Dimitri just sounds like a Russian.
Like, really sounds Italian.
It does sound Russian. Dimitri. Dimitri. My name is Dimitri.
Yeah, like when you look at movies and you hear that name, it sounds like somebody from like Europe, like Russian.
My brother Dimitri Pestestikov.
Yeah, like from John Wick or something. So, like for them to say that, I'm like, y'all can't say Dimitri. Yes,
I didn't drink Russian vodka.
Or just call him Meech. Like that's crazy to me. So after that, Meech pulls back up at the crib. Man, that, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's an SL500. SL500 is clean.
Drop. It is.
Pulls back up at the crib, and none other than Angel is still in the crib, and he comes home with some flowers. I'm like, is that his thing? Like, he just got to bring, like, this ain't in your shorty for real, but you just got to bring flowers home? Like,
for a slight second. Go ahead, Trees.
I just wanted to be sucker free Saturday, right? And I'm just not feeling this. I'm not feeling. I really sat this whole like I was literally watching this thing like, really, Meech? Really? Like, this is what we doing? I just y'all know I'm not here for. If he want to smash her, he want to smash her, fine. But he bringing her flowers and shit. And then she's like, oh, I don't want to crowd your space. You in the kitchen with the drawers on. You already act like you live there. I'm done.
Got on the man hoodie and everything.
I don't see it for her at all.
I don't think he's going the Tinder DT route, you know, but I think this is kind of like what Meech do. Like, you know, he gave out Rolexes and stuff like that. So this is kind of like what he does. For some strange reason,
that put in work for him.
I don't even know necessarily that he put it in work. Like he didn't flew out whole crews to Mexico, like celebrities to Mexico, the Bryant and stuff like that. Like this is things that Meech does. That's just the way that he is. Talking about like celebrities he put on planes to fly out to Mexico. They're just, hey, you coming? I don't even know your name, but if you coming, you coming. He's that type of person. So, but for some strange reason, for a small second, I think that she was playing him. I think Green still got a hold. For a small second, I had a thought that ran across my mind that she's playing him because I think Green still got a hold on her. I don't think we saw the last of Greenie.
I would never trust a heifer that says she don't carry more than what she can carry in a backpack.
Right,
she a runaway, so she ain't be in a stable environment and home. So, and
that's why you need to get yourself together. I'm sorry, I'm the woman empowerment on the show. I'm not here for this shit. Okay.
I feel you. I feel you, but you know she got those proverbial crooked smiles that she got to fix. That you know Grady wasn't able to fix. I mean, maybe Meech could fix those. You know, because she obviously can't fix them, but I still think like when she in those type of situations and those type of environments of what she explained about Greenie, I think for a second, I'm like, she leaving, she packing up, she got a safe haven or whatever, talking about she ain't trying to crowd your space and all this. That's noble and everything, but where are you going? You going back to Greenie's house?
Exactly.
Well, I thought she was just going to work, you know, go out and, I mean,
okay. Can I first? I was about to say, so I have a question for y'all for this saying that we can, what you call it. So when he told her, like, you going to do what you know, like you going to work, like, I forgot what he said verbatim.
He basically said, you going to work, but you're not going to give your money to Green.
You ain't giving him the money, yeah.
Okay. He said,
so where's she going?
Tail. And that's why she could have sold some tail, but have enough sense to keep your money in your pocket, heifer. That's what I'm saying.
But I'm lost because how you think for 1 second she just gonna go back to the club and continue to dance after you and Duffy just beat the crap out of him and took his girl.
I didn't understand that either.
I think I'm like, maybe she wasn't expecting him. Maybe she was expected to be gone before he got back so she can go back to doing what she's doing. Because where are you going? Where are you going to go? And that's why I'm like, Greenie still got a hold on her. I'm not sure she's exactly playing them. Maybe she's not, but Greenie still definitely got a hold.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Tracy.
Sound real terrible. But if this is one woman that gets taken out because
you're not mad at it.
I'm not because I'm with you. It's looking real messy.
It looks suspect to me.
Right. She ain't got nowhere to go. She ain't got nothing to do. And the one man that's like, but that's what's even convoluted. How you gonna tell me, boo, I got you, but keep going to shake your ass? What type of man is that?
That's what I'm saying. Like, where she has no place to go. She only has one other place besides Meech's house. She only has one other place to go, and that's where you was going back to.
But here's my thing. If he really wanted to make her feel secure, Greenie already has her working the pole. To keep her away from Greenie, to make her feel secure and safe, then you say just sit up and or clean the house and I'll pay you or whatever the case may be. And I give you some money. But what I'm not going to do is send you back to the same thing that this was doing for you. The only difference is now I'm your pimp.
Yep. I figured maybe he was going to bring her into BMF somehow or something. Be like, hey, you ought to be the secretary or something.
If she not playing them, I can see that happening. If she not playing them. But I just like when I saw this and she was packing up everything and she was about to get ready to leave, she was like, "Oh no, I don't want to invade your space and all that type of stuff." You making it seem like he got 6 kids running around.
Right.
You know, it's just him in that big old house.
He ain't got no furniture no way. What space you invading? All he got is a couch.
Do y'all
think like chill? You good? But she want to go back to Greenie, and if she worried about money, that's the last thing she need to worry about, obviously. Because Meech just give it away.
This might be me reaching. Might she end up being one of them girls putting things in places and getting on planes and, delivering them different ways?
Oh, she a luggage carrier?
Yeah, that's a great way to say it. That's a great way to put it.
She might be a luggage carrier. I don't know. But I don't really see it. Nah, I don't know.
What
I don't think he'll put her
doing? Remember, we just went through her history. She ain't got nowhere to go. If Meech said, look, I need you to stuff this or put this in this luggage, even if she wasn't if she put it in luggage, let's just say she actually put it in carry-on, right? The point is, I could see him employing her that way, but I definitely don't see her being nobody's secretary.
You know what? I don't know. That might be possible. So here we got Tender DT. He in his restaurant with none other than his baby mama, LaWanda, and she is devouring that food. She ate the scraps off of that plate. And they talking about the whole CPS case and everything. And Tender DT says, don't worry, I'm gonna make sure everything goes great. Make sure that the family and the home doesn't get broken up and all that type of stuff. The only thing about this scene that killed me, well, I'm not gonna say it killed me. The only thing I didn't get was how you walk out, LaWanda. Like you walk out and you didn't see Meech, because right after you walk out,
Meech
comes right in, like within like 5 seconds. So I was a little curious about that, but Meech comes back, surprises everybody, and everybody is, as we can tell, is extremely happy to see Meech.
Ecstatic.
Yes, that's the word. Ecstatic. And I'm talking about I was like, damn, they don't like T at all. I'm like, they super have Meech. They was about to have a whole party for him.
Do you not agree that this is just my feelings, the only reason Terry has the crew that he has and the only reason they stick with him is because of their loyalty to Meech? It's not because of Terry.
Oh yeah. I mean, we saw that in the was it the last episode or episode before last when the
Yeah.
when that crew was like, yeah, you know, we
did
loyal to Meech. Yeah, that's on the yeah. I think the exact same way. Like they don't really rock with Terry like that, but they all happy that Meech is back. He's back here in Detroit, rolling everybody, salute him, greet him, and whatnot. And Tender DT comes out trying to figure out what the noise is, and he sees it's none other than Meech. And he didn't look too happy that Meech was even back. I mean, he told him that little lie about, you know, CPS got my head all messed up and everything like that. But it was like, it looked like he was just like, why you back? Like, I got it. So what you here for?
But he don't got it. Can I be honest with you? And maybe I think Jack said something about it earlier. This particular episode, but this series does Terry no favors. Because it really just makes me dislike him. Like, I really feel like he was a downfall. I really do.
He was the downfall. So he was in real life. He was the downfall of. I mean, Meech has.
I know that, but his sensitivity, and being in his feelings, and I don't want Meech back when Meech is the one that puts you on. Like, I don't know. Jack, weigh in if you've been listening.
He definitely seen and felt some type of way about it. He just want to be like, he just want to feel like the boss. And he's the younger brother. He's up under Meech's tutelage, but he just don't add the gift of gab that Meech has in order to capture the crowd. T can't read the room, and that's the crazy thing. Like, T is a numbers man, and if he would have played this role, it seemed like everything would have been okay. But he just kept trying to. Meech ain't running nothing over here. I'm running stuff over here, and then eventually, somewhere along the line, they break off. Like, he don't even call his crew BMF no more. Somewhere along the line, you know. Yep. But that's like the real story. He actually changes the name of his crew because he no longer want to be associated with BMF.
Wow.
But that's just the thing. He's the younger brother that believed he just didn't know his role and what his talent was. He just felt that he was good as Meech is doing everything else, but he really wasn't. He's a numbers guy. Play your role.
Yeah, you know what, Jack? Since you brought that up, I completely forgot that he did break off BMF and had his old crew.
I didn't know that. Y'all,
and it's funny because they had a fight in Vegas. That's what did it.
Yep.
Oh, what?
There was something similar like this happened. It was T's birthday, and Meech had just went to jail for that wolf incident.
Mm-hmm.
And they was wearing free Big Me shirts to T's birthday party, and he felt some type of way about it. That's what happened.
We'll talk offline. I need to know.
We'll talk offline. So Meech tells T, you know, I'm up here due to Loco's request because you messed up, you know, the whole meeting, first impressions of everything, and he don't like you, so that's why I'm back up here in Detroit to pick up the work that is given to us by Loco. I know what I meant to ask you, Jack. The location that they were talking about to pick the work up from, is it literally
Macomb
like
Airport?
That? Like, is it like that out there?
So I did some research in Macomb Airport because I never heard of it.
Oh, wow. It's a private airport, though, right?
So the only private airport that I know is the Wayne County Airport, is where the private jets come in at. I never heard of Macomb. Like, I know Macomb County, Macomb Mall. I never heard of Macomb Airport. Wayne County Airport is where the private jets land at. So I don't know if they just changed it for the purposes of the show or whatever. But Wayne County, the Wayne County Airport is exactly like that.
Okay, so
that's where all the celebrities fly in at, and so it's exactly like
basically
that.
What he was saying.
But it is a predominantly YT people area.
Pretty much.
Okay.
No. I'm sorry. Actually, the area is not, but that specific property is.
Okay.
It's high security. You can't that specific area is.
Okay, now it makes sense. Okay.
But Macomb County. So the airport where Wayne County Airport is not, but Macomb County is definitely that. 100%. Okay.
So after that, we get Detective Bryant. He goes and visit Jen at her father's restaurant just to go to check on her, just to see if she's okay. Which, to me, that was a whole scam. He was just running that. He was just trying to make sure she wasn't going to snitch.
See what she know.
See what she know.
He was fishing.
We saw a little inkling of her sister as she was. I forgot what they call when they like those little things for. And they have.
It's almost.
Yeah.
I don't want to say a shrine, but it's basically a shrine.
Yeah. So they have the back and forth, and at least now we did find out what Jen did with those 2 bricks.
Yeah, because was it me or was it you that called it when she took the bricks? Maybe there's. I think it was you, Fresh, that said maybe she's trying to replace the bricks that was stolen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they have the back and forth, and Bryant says like, "Hey, you just as dirty as me. If you try to investigate me, I tell them, you help me." And that's when she says like, "Hey, I've already placed them, and I took them from Saint," which to me was stupid because it's just like he could actually say that, but then I'm thinking like he would have to prove it at the same time. So I mean, I guess that's that whole situation, but they have their little back and forth, and Jen, just tells them like, "Hey, I'm just going to investigate you, see what you up to while you running
She
with that
definitely gave
whole
him leverage,
crew and everything else." And
she
that's
shouldn't have
their
said
whole-
nothing. She gave him leverage.
Go ahead, Trees.
Here's my theory on this. This is what I saw. I be reaching sometimes, but I think part of it was trying to check up on her, but like he said, and you notice it kind of like resonated with her when he said, "Please note that everything is about family and everything. If you do think I'm doing something wrong, please know that it's for my family." And we know she has a soft spot in her heart for Kevin, right? So my whole thing is, I think that really, I think he's gonna end up taking out Amberson when he finds out that they got something going on. That's my theory. He's gonna be this lover. He ain't gonna have nothing to lose because Kevin gonna be gone, and he gonna take out Amberson because now she tiddly winking with his chick.
What I took from that is that her days is numbered.
Jen or Amberson?
Jen.
Oh.
I took from that is her days is numbered, because if you go back and you look at a couple of other episodes when they got busted, when you see him breaking into T's house, busting into T's house, you don't even see Jen. You see the comedian lady. I can't remember her name. You see the comedian lady. And
who is that? Leslie or?
I think that is her name. Yeah. You don't even see Jen. I think Jen's days are numbered. Now, whether it's by Brian or Bryant put somebody up to it to make it lead, make it seem like one thing is actually something else, whatever. I think her days are numbered.
But now that you remember that, and I know exactly who you're talking about. Leslie something. I can't remember, but I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I don't think Leslie was like
because she's the head of the Drano, right? And she was just saying, to Jacka Jordan's point, she was just in a later scene, she talks about how, I'm trying to get back on, I may have an opportunity to get back on Drano if I'm able to come up with this. So
yeah, but I thought Leslie was a Fed though.
Was she?
I thought I'd have to go back and watch it because I know exactly, because I think that was the first episode of season 1 when they bust down the door. T's crib, or was Meech? It's one of them, but I know what scene you're talking about.
It was in season 1, but I don't know if it was the first. Was it season 1 or was it season 2, episode 1?
Yeah, I think it's season 2.
It's season 2, episode 1.
Yeah,
because he was sitting down, they was eating dinner. They had like lamb chop. He was just breaking down everything they had, and T was talking about how this is about family, and everything. And then she had made some jokes about his eye. So, but I didn't see Detective Jen. So I'm just thinking, with that being said, since we just going based off of that, is that her days is numbered. Because he was like, I'll do anything for the family. So if you think you about to get ready to tell what I'm doing to stop the protection, I'll do anything for the family. But we'll see. One thing changed my mind, and I get to that part, when we get to that part.
Fresh knows why I'm smiling. Speaking of family. Speaking of family,
there we go.
Jack. Well, not Jack so much. Fresh.
I said allegedly.
I saw her face. I was trying not to laugh while you were
allegedly.
talking, but I saw her face. So
My
I was
wife
like,
said the same thing. I thought he only had one son. I'm like, allegedly.
So we got so hold on. No. Hold on. Matter of fact, when we get to that scene, Trees, we gonna discuss that. And I
Because
think
now I have another question. Because do you think Little Meech would go along with the storyline of him having siblings that he didn't have, even if it was a script?
I mean, it's part of the script. It say at the beginning of the each episode,
Every episode.
some of it's true
Each
and some of
episode.
it ain't.
But I don't know. As a child, as the child of, because this is his real child, right?
I think he probably asked him already. I think he probably asked him already, and they know the truth. I don't think that's something that Meech should be like. Meech probably be like. I don't think Meech to from what I understand about Meech, I don't think he would lie to his son. I think he'd just be like, maybe not, or yeah, it's definitely, or he could like tell Meech, little Meech that I did some things I ain't really sure. They ain't been clarified yet, but when I get out, we'll see.
So we got Meech here with Zoe and TT here at the park, and Zoe tells him, that she wants to be a lawyer. And Meech says, hey, I'm gonna make sure you get in the best school. I got you. I'm gonna pay for everything. They reminisce about Zoe's mom and everything.
Her name? Mo.
Yeah, Mo.
Played by Cash Doll from Detroit.
Yep.
And look, she pregnant again.
Pregnant
again. In real life.
In real life.
Myself.
So we got Tender DT here back in Ren Kings, which now, because of what she said, I don't think that's her actual gambling spot. I think it's her pop's gambling spot.
Yep.
But they're back here at the gambling spot here, and they are setting up
Judge
Darnell.
You missed the one scene where Lala was just standing with the pants on.
So Markeisha comes in and immediately goes to Judge Darnell, and of course, he knows her as Boom's wife, and she tells him about how she has she needs some help. There's somebody she wants Judge Darnell to help, which of course we know is T, in reference to his whole CPS situation and all of that stuff. Judge Darnell gives her props, it says, Boom couldn't have did half the stuff that, he did with her. Even though I think that was in the other scene. But either way, they have a little whole discussion and everything. And Judge Darnell runs out of money, and T ends up fronting him all of his chips and say, hey, I need you to look out for me. I need you to do this. I got a CPS case and whatnot. And during that whole conversation, Ren King pops up, and she tells Judge Darnell, basically you got to watch the company you keep. And she tells T that if it wasn't against the house rules, I would slice your throat right here and right now. But it's against the house rules. So that right there was an indication to me that it's not her spot, it's her pop spot. Mm-hmm. Because I was like,
because
spot, she would have just
she can do whatever she wants.
Yeah, she just went on ahead and did it. The part that killed me with this is when she told Markeisha, when you ready to get your back cracked like a glow stick.
Oh, that's the part for you?
I'm not gonna touch on that.
The part for me is when she said, you still messing with somebody that wets the bed. I said, oh, bitch.
No, the part that got me was she was like, get the F on my face.
Oh yeah.
I was like, yo, her rebuttal. I was like, yo.
She was like, that's where I want you to be.
Yeah, pretty much
like that.
Yeah.
A couple things about this thing. One, I definitely thought the same thing. I thought it was like, they ain't really her spot. And even if that was somebody else's spot other than her father, she probably would have violated because she felt as though it seemed like that her respect for her father's wishes is still near and dear to her.
Yeah, because she's trying to
Anybody else spot, she probably would. Right. Anybody else spot, she probably would have did. She probably would have did something else. Two, it just goes to show that because T is young, that he just don't get no respect from nobody. I don't think she would have talked to Meech like that.
Go ahead,
Well,
Trey.
that, to your point, though, and I'm sorry, French, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, you good.
To your point, though, I think that for whatever reason, she wants to be above her father, like you said, but she still, it's like like she knows she needs his rite of passage. I don't know if I'm the only one that's getting that feeling.
She needs his blessings.
Yes, she needs his blessings. So I think that's what's really keeping her from doing anything, because she wants her father's blessing to be like, go ahead. And right now, her father's still running things and could end her. So she knows she's, she playing scared. She gotta, lay low.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. She's just trying to show that, like, she deserved the kingdom, and she deserved, like, she's earned her spot to take over everything. Dang, I forgot I lost my whole train of thought.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all good though. I'm trying to. I don't even remember what it was. If it comes back, then
that's okay. You can interrupt it, because that's why I end up interrupting people, because I be wanting to get it out before I forget.
Matter of fact, what was it that you? I think it was to jump on your point, Jack. You said, what was the two things you said about this?
Said one of the things.
I know what it is now. When she said he wet the bed, I don't
How old is T?
With T, is during this time frame. T is not a teenager. T is in his.
T got to be like 22.
He's like 22. So that's why I'm lost. That like the way they making it seem like he's still. I got you, Trees. Like he's still a kid. Go ahead.
But Meech is older.
I have one word for you.
The Meech been in the streets longer.
Drea.
Drea. Oh, Drea. Okay, gotcha.
Do you understand what I'm saying? An older woman, and you messing with somebody that's 21, 22, that's got a whole bunch of money. It don't look like, why are you messing with a little kid? It's still a little kid.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
But I didn't think that she was.
We talk about that when I fly.
Yeah, I'm gonna look up. I didn't think Tanya Welch, the real Marquisha's character, I didn't think she was that much older. But
even Nikki said she was an old Jezebel. Talk about.
So, like I said,
Raw Dog Charles.
Yeah, Raw Dog Charles. I told y'all,
you working out
all that check. It was a wrap. He was about to get. He was getting back. He was like, "Oh, now I gotta get back in the game." Your man's in the joint. This is how I knew it was a setup.
This
man's
is
in
funny.
the joint. Got baby oil on. Got slow music on. Who work out the slow music?
He got maybe 25 pounds of work right there. Elbow to knee.
You know what I remember? It really gave me, if y'all remember his character, Mr. Soul Glow, back in Coming to America, and how he really wasn't appreciating Lisa until Akeem came along.
Mm-hmm.
He was giving that same energy. He was glowing. He was ready. He was like coming, showing up to the house with flowers. I did this. It was giving very just the character older.
I was like, your man in this joint, I'm like, now, what are the odds that he just gonna be working out? Like, he know her whole schedule. Like I said, he got slow music going. This man done cook dinner. Your dinner's in the oven, everything, and he just working out with some baby oil. I said, okay. I said, yeah, Raw Dog Charles trying to get back in or whatever. Even Lucille was confused. Like,
works.
Like, you cook?
Kind of.
I got dinner in the oven. Like, hold up, what's going on? But the funny part was when she walked off, she had a fan herself.
No, I was just about to say that. I said, from a woman's perspective, I'm proud of her. She held strong, because I definitely felt in that moment. She was like, oh, look at you, and dinner is ready. She wanted to let it breathe. But she said, let me put my hands on my knees and walk back to my room. Yeah, okay, that's what she did.
She was about to fold.
Listen, I don't care what nobody said. crackback Lucille was definitely about to try to get her. She was definitely thinking about getting her back cracked.
Right.
like heavy. I really don't care. I really don't care what anybody say. And Charles is doing like he's just trying to gain that appeal that maybe she found in him like be funny. Especially he's not going to outdo Dr. Maurice in bread, so you got to figure out another angle. You in the house, you cooking for her. You got to make things easier for her. You want to make her life easy and simple as possible because you're not going to be able to beat him in finances.
Joe made a song about it. It's all the things your man won't do. He started doing that shit. Okay. He started doing that.
You're a woman, so I acquiesce.
So we got Ranking here throwing darts at Tender D's T's picture on the dartboard, and that's when she summons Detective Bryant. She tells him that she found out
I'm ready for her to go
back in town.
I'm ready for her to go.
Thank you.
I'm ready for her to go. I'm not even gonna lie. Please, let's just get her out of here because I'm tired of her. I'm tired of the character. She's been on 2-3 episodes. She's over aggressive. I'm just tired of her. Like, let's get her out of
every episode so far, I think.
Yeah, let's just get her out of here.
Bryant, that's how bad it is. That's how bad it is.
So they have a whole back and forth, and she wants him. Well, no, Bryant says I can do the detective work and figure out exactly what's going on with Meech, where the work is coming in from, and that's where Ranking tells him, "Yeah, you find that out, and then that's when me and my people we gonna roll up. We gonna take all of them out, and at the same time, we gonna take the work." And she also tells him, you a cop like my pops, so like her guard is still up. Her guard is still up from him being a cop or whatnot.
So here's my thing with that, because her pops pretty much gave her a direct order to make sure that Bryant is straight. And this, I'm not even saying the Power universe, because I don't want to say that. I hate when people connect power to BMF. But in the 50 Cent universe, do you think that it's possible that her pops give the green light if she decides to do something to Bryant or decides to do something outside of his wishes?
Nah, I don't think so. Because I forgot right here, which we also found out, is that Rankin got people that's protecting Bryant's son.
I was just about to say that. Good job, Fresh.
So I don't think so. I think at the end of the day, to answer your question, Jack, like if she did, like he not going, he ain't gonna get that green light. It would have to be Brian would have had to some way mess up like their whole organization for him to give that green light to take Brian out. To give the green light to her to take him out.
I don't know why. Every time you say green light, I'm ready to go right now.
It's same thing. Same thing. They ready to go right now. Same thing.
Right, they're ready to go.
Yeah. So we got Jen and Amberson back here at the station, and Amberson is letting her know. We also found out that Cuts did get caught. Cuts did get locked up. Amberson couldn't break him. He lawyered up, which was the bad news. But the good news is that she found out information on the ambulance, and that it was a person by the name of Lenny Edwards that purchased the ambulance in an auction, and they have an address on him, so they go to find him. Now, my question is, on this joint, I could have swore when an officer gets shot, they are at death duty. Like, you ain't out in the field. Like, she in a whole sling, and they just allowing her to go back out in the field.
I think even back then, now definitely, but I think even back then, they were on death duty, if I'm not mistaken. So this, going back out to the field, maybe she did it, beyond somebody else's wishes. I mean, maybe it's the part that we just didn't see.
Yeah, that could be possible. That it's the part that
maybe it's the part that we just didn't see. I mean, she's kind of like a rebel without a cause, or a rebel with a cause, shall I say.
So here we got Nicole with Breeze and her friends up in the crib playing Mortal Kombat. And when I saw this, I knew, and if you watched our prediction video, kind of called it. We kind of called it and said that Mom Lucille or somebody was going to come in the crib.
Look, let me tell you something. I have a daughter. I come in, I see some young little Thundercats just sitting on my couch, enjoying themselves a little bit in Mortal Kombat. And then you put your arms around my daughter, and then you say, "Yeah, I teach you how to work the joystick." I'm like, "Whoa, hold on, my man. Ain't gonna be no joystick working over this way. You understand? We ain't doing none of that. That's subliminal where I'm from. We're not doing none of that." You're like, "What? You think you think it's sweet over here? Ain't no way. Anybody gonna do that? Nah, it ain't no way." However, before you jump into it, Trees, Charles gave a green light.
And I don't agree with that. Hear me out. Because I'm a female and my mom was the one, like Lucille, my dad never gave the green light. That would have never been acceptable. My mom was always like, but I always had the mom, you can, while I'm in the house, yeah, you can have boys over. Because, you know, she might not be on top of us, but she going to do her routine trips down the stairs, make sure what we doing is appropriate and ain't nobody sneaking off and ain't nobody doing nothing. So I do think in this particular, I don't disagree with Lucille in being outraged. I come home and it's a whole bunch of kids, especially men or little boys in my house. That would never be cool.
Yeah. So
they would have got hit with one of them windy frosties. You understand me? We not doing that. A biggie fry across the face. We're not doing that. Like, how do I walk in and you got these young little Thundercats just sitting just on the couch just chilling?
And they weren't it wasn't even like surprised. Like if I'm a sneak a boy over and my mom doesn't know he's over there, I'm gonna jump up and be like, "Oh, mom, this is my," you know what I mean? Like it was no type of, it was like.
But she hit him with, I told you I was having some friends over. She probably thinking in her head like, friends. I thought you was talking about like the team, like you and your girls was gonna sit here and chill. Not that you, your girls, and each of them will had a dude over, and y'all was just go to kind of like make this the thing, regardless of y'all was doing something. How old is Nikki in this? I can't even remember.
She's definitely a teenager now. She got to
be
that's for sure.
14, 15. She got to be somewhere around that by now.
No, I think she's like 16 at this point.
16, a little bit different. I think she's like 16. Hell no.
No, I don't think she's 14 because I definitely wasn't having nobody over at 14.
14, y'all better be meeting up and getting on the slide or something. We ain't about to get like
we gotta go to the mall. Our parents don't even know we talking. Right. Our parents don't even know we talking to each other at 14 for real.
And I'm walking way behind you in the food court or something. You know what I'm saying? Let y'all have conversation, but y'all ain't doing nothing extra.
Yeah. No, she has to be like 16, but I forgot.
I'm just thinking from a father who has a daughter, and one day, hopefully, my daughter will get old enough to watch this to know that I ain't playing.
Right.
Yeah, because this thing right here, I for sure thought Lucille was gonna smack Breeze upside the head. Because I'm like, bruh, she's telling you get out the crib, and you talking about, like Jack said, yeah, next time I'll show you how to work the joystick.
Dude, that was subliminal.
Just giggling, and I'm like,
that was subliminal. That was subliminal. I'm like, you can't really tweet the lines. I saw that was like, yo, joystick. Like, what are we talking about?
But you got to understand a mother to mother relationship or a mother to daughter relationship. If I've seen you be out of pocket as my mom and what you're preaching, you're not practicing, then that's a different story. Because that's why Nikki brought up, well, he was a friend, because don't be surprised, or we see, well, Dr. Maurice is a friend, right?
We're gonna talk about that offline too.
Right. Okay. That's no, because that's the thing you got to worry about with girls. We got them smart ass mouths and them smart ass rebuttals. So we gonna, like, if you gonna challenge us, you got to make sure yours is perfect on our record. Because if we seen some shit, we gonna let you know we seen it. Okay.
I mean, yeah, like Jack said, we talk about that offline.
Because man,
we got Meech. He pulls up to the hangar, meets with the pilot. And this is where he found out that they are getting more work than expected. Instead of 50, they're getting 2,500 bricks, which makes him lose his mind and he's trying to figure out now, like, how they gonna get all this work out. I'm still shocked, and I know this is still early '90s, so it might probably have been able to go this way, but I was still a little curious, like they really was able to fly a private jet full of like that much amount of work.
Back
With,
then, absolutely.
but I mean, I would think because remember you got the whole cocaine cowboys and all that stuff from when they was flying planes, so I would think like by that point, like they searching private, just checking the planes for private airports, like because
Right.
somebody would have had to seen them load. That's 2,500 bricks, so somebody
Listen,
had to see them loading in all that work.
I have no doubt that people is still probably getting some work across just on these planes. It may definitely in the smaller portions. I have no doubt about that. Even with the high technology, security, and everything else that we got on, I'm more curious on how they got that work off in such little time. That was ridiculous. Like, come on, we talking about 2,500, and I ain't gonna expose that. 2,500 is a lot.
Yeah, it's a
250 was a lot.
Yeah.
And
So do y'all think
2,500,
that part of the story is real?
I don't think.
I don't know.
That's what I said. I'm gonna have to do my Googles because I don't.
Okay.
It might be exaggerated, but I don't know with them. I don't know. Like
They did some. That's why I was like, I gotta ask the guys. Was this like could this be a real thing? Like that?
it seems like from like the stories that I've heard and what we're seeing with this is that their reputation was built off the branding. Their branding was, well, we can move it fast and it's gonna be good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna move it fast and you're gonna have the best designer luggage that you could possibly get. That's what the reputation would seem like. It was built off of the true documentaries and this. So if they cutting prices on their luggage, if you selling Louis luggage for $1,000 instead of the $2,600 just for the duffel bag or $3,200 for a duffel bag, then
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah,
it's a lot.
I'm gonna have to look that up. But Meech calls T, lets him know like the cook done cooked too much, gave him too much eggs,
Too many
gave
eggs.
him eggs in the basket. And he and Tender DT more worried about CPS, and Meech like, man, look, forget about that. Like, we got to figure out a way to move all these eggs, because like this is part of the game, and we can't disappoint Loco. And this is more, you know what I'm saying? Like he said, first impressions are everything. So forget all about that. So go ahead, Jack.
I got a small problem with that, and it's only because of what happened later on in the future. Because he's kind of like, yeah, forget CPS. But like later on in the future, one of your soldiers kind of just walked away without an issue.
Yes, I was getting ready to bring that up after he finished that scene. I said, "Yo, did y'all have a problem with that?"
I had a huge problem with that.
That was the one time I was like, "See, this is what they probably used to be warning us about." And like, Meech is ruthless. Like when he wants something, he wants something. And I was just like, "That's your brother. That's your nephew." For you to be like, oh well, it's business.
That's like disregard, but the moment that he
right,
said, well,
I thought
away,
that was...
I mean, I got it. Like, I get what y'all saying. Like, he's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's your brother, that's your nephew, etc. But at the same time, I'm looking at it from Meech's eyes, like, yo, this is the cartel. So if we don't do this, none of us gonna be here. So like,
that makes sense.
I get what you're saying with the CPS, but would you rather the CPS take your child and we could fight to get it back, or none of us be here? Like, they just gonna wipe the whole family out.
So you just piggyback about what I was just about to ask you, right? Because remember when Meech said to Nicole that my goal was to never tear this family apart. So for you to sit there and tell your brother, oh, you don't give a damn about CPS, we got to hustle. But then to your point, if it's the cartel and we disappoint them, either way ain't going to go right. So I get what you're saying and your point, but at that moment, it made me think about what he said to Nicole. And I was just like, yo, family's supposed to be everything to you.
Yeah, I think it is, but I think he just saw like, yo, look, I'm young. I'm not trying to be unalived. Like, this is the cartel. We got to find a way. So I think he just had that tunnel vision, like, yo, we
Right.
got to figure out a way to offload all of this stuff. So Meech ends up seeing somebody, back at the hangar with a van. He goes up to him, offers him money to use his van so that he can load all the work into, which the driver obliges to take the money. And we see none other, of course, Detective Bryant watching him at the hangar as he is paying the guy to get the van. During this whole during that whole thing, while that's going on, T is back at the restaurant, and Diesel, who is one of Meech's friends, I think he went out to Ohio. He's from Detroit. I think he went out to Ohio. He called Diesel to come back in to help him offload all of this stuff, and T is giving them the breakdown of everything. Like, hey, Diesel, we appreciate you, coming back. We really need help. We gotta move all of this weight, and we gotta move it at a faster pace, and we're gonna have to cut the prices. But he tells them, tell the people and let them know that this is a one-time thing. During that whole process,
Hold on.
Miss Murray. Oh, go ahead, Tree.
Can I say something about that? Because I want to know if y'all notice the same thing. It's the same dude, and I can't remember. It's maybe Locke or Lope or something like that. I feel like he's gonna be a problem because he's always the one with an objection. He's always the one gas facing when things are going on. You know what I'm talking about? The dude, he's all little light skinned dude, and he always has an issue anytime Terry tells him something and tells him things ain't going right. But then the rest of the crew be like, "Oh, we're gonna go along with it," and he goes along with it. But you can tell he's not happy with it. He gives me a very Stacks vibe.
You talking about the one? Oh, you talking about the one that's on the left hand side? That's just the face, Diz.
Yeah. No, is it Diz? No, I don't think it's Diz. I think it's I feel like it's Lope or Locke or something like that.
Oh, who? You talking about who?
No, not Hoop. Not Hoop. Hoop is
You
the
got
big
who?
It's the
Stir.
light skinned dude. It's the light skinned dude that is in their crew. And when he sits them down and he's like, "Oh, we going," but when he sat them down last time and he was like, "Oh, we waiting for the shipment," he was one of the first to be like, "Well, I'm like." I don't know. I just feel like he always has a problem.
Baseball with him or something.
Yeah, he always has a problem, and I feel like that's gonna be an issue later on.
Yeah, that's Diz. I was gonna say that. Yeah, I think because it was a certain scene where Diz was kind of laying back because he was the one that sent Diz to go get the info of Red King. It was a certain scene when we got to that. I was gonna speak on that where it looked like Diz was like, you know what I'm saying, like, oh, like he felt a certain type of way.
Mm-hmm.
But Miss Murray walks in the restaurant from CPS, and T tells them like, "Hey, I need y'all to fake like y'all ordering food or whatnot, so I could put on this front in front of Miss Murray." And they take advantage of it, which was hilarious to me.
I love that scene.
Yeah, they was
like, "Where am my mac and cheese, sir? We've been waiting."
No, yes, and it was crazy. And that was funny because he sits down with Miss Murray and they have the whole discussion in CPS, and he tells her like, "We're known for our mac and cheese," and I'm like, "That's it? Like, you just gonna offer her a plate of mac and cheese? Like, that's it? That's what y'all known for?" Like, no.
You know what? Can I tell you though? I'm so happy, and I don't know if it was the writers being on point with like standards, but I'm so happy that he didn't say fried chicken. I was just so happy he didn't say fried chicken to her, because I would have been like, "Really, 50? Really, all these writers, fried chicken and mac and cheese?" That's why I was like, okay, mac and cheese. Somebody
that
cut out.
Sound good right now.
I would love.
But I'm so happy they didn't say fried chicken and mac and cheese, because that would have been so like cliche. Like, that's such a
yeah. I thought he was going. I for sure thought he was going to say something like
a salmon or something, right?
I thought he was going to say pork chops or something.
Because what type of restaurant is? I thought it was supposed to be like a little Italian joint. Maybe I'm thinking about Forrest, but I thought
it's a soul food. It's soul food because Sterling was
he
turning
was
up.
over collard greens or something.
I tried to look up the restaurant that he owned. I'm not sure if this is actually true or false either, because I couldn't find it.
Might not have been under his name.
Probably wasn't.
Or whatnot. But after Miss Murray leaves, which I'm assuming that everybody in that restaurant know what T does, because when he tells everybody get out, everybody just rolls out without hesitation. They just like, okay, cool. Like,
And he
so,
kind of just started like quarterbacking too. Like, you do this, you do that, without any hesitation or filter.
so this is the scene to piggyback off Treese with Diz. This is where I felt like we're gonna get something later on down the line with Diz, because he tells Sterl like, hey, we need to use your crib to offload. He tells Hoot, these are all y'all running with me, and Diz is just like still sitting there, just like in the background, and like his facial expressions made it seem like he's like, yo, like, okay, you don't need me now because Meech back, and then you got the work and you got them, so you don't really need me. Like, you kind of used me or whatever. It's kind of how I saw it.
I thought Sterl was the one he told that he needed to stash his stuff.
Yeah, Sterl.
Okay, I thought you said Diz. I was like, no, he didn't tell him that.
No, I was saying, I was saying he didn't tell Diz nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, he spoke to Diesel, Hoop, and told all of them like, hey, you roll with me and whatnot. And Diz is just sitting back, and that's why I was like, his facial expression made it seem like he's like, yo, really?
That's you got the right one. Then that's Diz. He's salty all the damn time. Yeah. He's salty all the time, and that's never good when you're in this type of organization.
At all. So we got Meech here. I don't know where they stopped at, some type of little quick restaurant, so that the
Cafe Prima. I don't know why I remember the name. Cafe Primo, Cafe Prima, something like that.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention on that part that you.
Because at first I was like, how do you pull up to Terry's restaurant? And then I was like, oh, that's not Terry's restaurant. That's what I thought they was pulling up to at first. You're muted, I think.
For real?
Yeah, okay.
We hear you now. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was surprised to see the pilot with him, but then I remembered the pilot said like, yo, I gotta get to my hotel. So
after I eat these bags of chips though.
Yeah. I was like, damn, you can't even help the man. Like, you still getting paid. Like, you can't help the man. You know what I'm saying?
No, because when it comes to doing jail time, guess what? I didn't help. All I did was fly it. The less you have to do with it, I'm just saying.
Still gonna get jail time. But while they stop all so that the pilot could use the bathroom, the police pull up into the parking lot, and Meech starts to go crazy. He starts sweating bullets. And while he's sitting there watching, then Detective Bryant shows up, and he goes into full paranoia. Like,
I love this scene.
Yeah, he didn't know what to do, and I got to give it to Meech. Like, I was like, yo, I didn't catch it until the pilot got in the car. I thought he was calling T.
I did too.
I did too.
It was like, yo, Brian's here. This was going on, but I got an idea. So when I saw the pilot go and talk to the cops for a second, I was like, man, this damn pilot better not be trying, you know what I'm saying? Like, be a little snitch, and be whatchamacallit. So I didn't see it coming. Go ahead, Treese.
Is anybody else wondering why he didn't just drive off and leave the pilot? Like, if you had his phone number, now that we know that, why wouldn't you just, while the police were in what they were doing and you sitting there and they eating their food, why wouldn't you just drive off? Because Bryant can't stop you. He ain't even got his bag. Like, you understand what I'm saying?
Follow him though. He kind of already knew that he was up to no good.
True. Okay, I just didn't understand. I would have drove off.
So he kind of already knew he was being tailed.
Yeah. Well, I think it was two things. I think it was two things. I think it was one, he was trying not to be hot because he saw the cops kept looking at him. You know what I'm saying? Like, through the glass of the restaurant. Because like you looking at Meech, like, and that's another thing I ain't understand. I'm like, bruh, you driving this van, but you got on Gucci, you got on the shades, all this stuff. You didn't even try to look inconspicuous in the van, number one. And then I think it was more so like he knew that was Cena's like that was the plug's pilot. So like if he drove off, it could have been a possible chance where the pilot would have called the plug like, hey, your man left me. and could possibly say like, "Yo, he stealing all the work." So like,
Oh, okay. I didn't think about that. That's a good point.
that's how I was looking at it. So we find out that Meech called the pilot to direct him to tell the cops in the restaurant that they are being followed. So the cops come out and they see Detective Bryant just sitting in the car. And the pilot, tells Meech like it took him long because he had to lay it on real thick. They end up pulling Detective Bryant out the car. They find the gun and they lock Detective Bryant up. Like you, Treese, I was laughing because I was like, yo, I got amped on that part. I said, yo, that's some smart thinking.
I loved it.
I said, I wouldn't even have thought of that on my toes in that situation. I would have just been like me sweating bullets, like, yo, I got to figure out how to get out.
So, T, I want to know, I hope at least STARZ doesn't cut this off before Meech is able to come out and tell us what parts of it were true, because I want to know if this is a true story or if it's fiction.
Yeah, I would love to know that as well. So they drive off to the sunset, and Meech looks in his rearview mirror laughing. And we see I think his name is Tyson, Ren King's cousin, comes in, and Ren King's like, yo, what's going on? It's written all over your face. And he basically tells her that he can't get in touch with Detective Bryant, but they don't know that Detective Bryant got locked up.
And they won't let him out.
So they automatically think that he, he doing them wrong. They automatically think like, like he don't switch sides on them. So like you said, Treese, offline, I do think like if it's not next episode 6, little Kevin gone. Because I think that's gonna be.
We've come to the end of the road.
I think she about to pull the protection from his son because she thinks that, Detective Brian done turned his back on him. So definitely think that. Here we go again. Lucille comes down the steps and Charles in there finally doing some work. Charles just been wearing wife beaters like this whole episode, except for the
oiled up like I've never looked at Charles like this.
Told you, he just kept baby oil on. He just knew when she was gonna be around the house.
Right.
Lucille was trying to get him to work on that house since season 1, and now that a man is in the picture, Raw Dog Charles is like, yo, I gotta step my game up. So he in here working on the crib.
No offense, that's what y'all do. That's what they do.
I mean, I can't say that is wrong.
As always, I hate to compare y'all to dogs, but when someone else is pissing in your grass, y'all then take attention.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, so I can't knock that. So, Lucille puts up a sign, which to me, I was like, what difference does that make? You act like that's actually going to stop somebody from going up the steps. I was like, this little sign, but she puts up a sign, and this was when Lucille tells Charles about that Nicole had Breeze and some friends over while neither one of them are home. And Charles says, oh, I've met him. He's a good kid. He's cool. Good head on his shoulders, whatnot, etc. And then that's when she refers back to, hey, you were a good kid once too, and look what happens to us. Then he ends up bringing up Dr. Maurice and the whole check that he ended up finding that gave to Lucille. And I thought Lucille was gonna say, like, what the hell are you doing in my purse? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, Lucille was like, don't, like, she goes through a whole explanation. I ran into him, basically saying like, there's nothing to tell. But we still know Raw Dog Charles still feels a little bit threatened.
Well, I will say this.
Mm-hmm.
Just countering on this, I can respect Charles. He saw it. He might have waited a couple of days. We don't know how much time, but we know he didn't wait too long. This is the difference between men and women. How long did Lucille sit on that thinking he was somebody else? Didn't know who, but she was questioning people at the church. She just knew something was wrong.
Yep.
But she sat on it for a long time until she had proof.
Yeah.
Whereas this man doesn't, he just has an inkling. And he's like, no, but we're going to talk about it. That's the difference between men and women. That literally, that was a perfect example.
He admitted that's right, because immediately he was like, I'm just trying to keep,
right.
The truthful between us in the house and all this other stuff. And I was like, bro, bro, you past that.
You was in the kitchen over by the stove, by the butter rolls.
Yeah.
Right.
You let Mabel in your house more than once.
Right.
Before she even found out about the whole situation. So
right.
So
you're muted again.
Again?
Okay, there you go.
Okay. So we got Detective Amberson and Jen here at Lenny and Edward. What is it? Lenny Edwards, whatever. Crib, the one who bought the ambulance in the whatchamacallit, I forgot what it's called. And he tries to push the door closed, which pretty much just makes him guilty. And Detective Amberson does her best impression of Jacker Jonah Kersey and hops over the couch and tackles him and locks him up. So I'm sure next episode we're gonna see more on Lenny and his whole situation about an ambulance. So we back here at the gambling spot, and Markeisha and Judge Darnell are here having a drink. And Judge Darnell basically says, "You don't give up, do you?" And Markeisha goes through this whole spiel trying to butter him up and whatnot. And he asks her, what do you, what is with you and this kid? And she gives him this whole spiel, I know what the system can do to us and people like us, and he's a good dude, and I want to see him continue to have his kid. And then after that, she slides him over some papers and says,
you're a terrible father.
Yeah, I got stuff on you. This is all the stuff, on you, and your dealings with drug dealers. So I'm sure you don't want this to get out, because I have copies, and this will mess up your election of your whole running to be elected again for judge.
It's giving Tate energy, but it's not Tate.
Yeah. Yeah, that's basically what it is.
Okay, so hold on. Before you go to the next scene, one thing. You didn't think, okay, that last, not that one, but the one before that. And I can't remember what it was. Go ahead. I'll bring it back up. Oh, go ahead.
So we got T and Meech here. They're at STARZ garage, and they get into work, and they are excited about getting all the work, and they hand all the packages off to get out into the streets and start offloading. The one thing that I saw on the packaging was George Bush's face, and I chuckled at that, because that's George Bush. That's his face. Because I was like, you know what? I was like,
is that George Bush?
And that's the father. That's not the son.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, that's the father. Around this time, yeah, because I'm trying to think. Clinton got elected in what, 90? Did he get elected in 92? I think it's somewhere. But it's
around that time. It was around that time.
Yeah, it's around the time frame. So everybody knows about Reaganomics and Bush and that whole thing of how they basically, they flooded the inner city with work and drugs and stuff like that. So I found it very funny on how they put George Bush's face on the packaging of all the work. While all the work is being sold.
Okay, I remember my question.
Go ahead.
So you don't think, so what was weird is with the Jen and Amberson, Edwards bought the ambulance, but wasn't it it came from Detective, I was getting ready to say Howard, Bryant.
Mm-hmm.
It only exposes him more. It doesn't expose Meech necessarily. It exposes Henry, but it doesn't expose Meech and his crew. That whole thing was Henry and Detective Bryant. So if he were to squeal, it's gonna be on them.
Yeah, it's gonna be on them, but I don't think they know that.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's the only reason I was confused by that, because I was like, it's not going to help them find what they want to find. It's going to get them closer to Detective Bryant and what he's doing. You're muted again.
Why Cuts was quote unquote you know what I'm saying, why Cuts and who hit that ambulance in the first place. I think that was mainly, you know what I'm saying, like the whole situation, since Cuts wouldn't talk. So while the packages is going out, we got Meech and T. They are in the restaurant that's closed, and they are counting all the money by hand. And I was like, man, look, I'm sorry. I get it. Counting the money by hand, it's an accurate count, but damn all that.
I would have had the machines running.
Yeah, this 92, 93, we about to have all the machines running. I'm not doing that. So here we got Dr. Mo with none other than Lucille. And Lucille comes to him to get some pamphlets on birth control for Nicole, as she is worried, very worried, that Nicole is about to do and is going to end up getting herself pregnant.
Did she get pregnant early? Because that's what it's giving me.
Had to change locations.
I think she did. I think she, in real life, Jack can probably answer this better than anybody. I believe in real life, I think she did end up getting pregnant. I don't.
You know what? Honestly, I'm not even sure, to be honest.
Because the way she's on Nikki, it makes it feel like she was a young mom, where she just doesn't want her daughter to end up pregnant.
That's the way it feels. That's the way it.
But the way that their marriage played out in storyline, it's like it doesn't seem. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't seem like that.
Yeah, I've been trying to. That's what did. See, this scene right here is why I thought that Nikki was like 13, 14. Like because I'm like, if your daughter's 16, I'm sure by now you would have already had that talk.
Right.
I mean, you're still going to be guarded, but you're not going to be that guarded that much, because you've already had that talk. And then now at 16, you're just thinking about putting her on birth control and stuff like that. So this is what makes me think, like Nikki is only like 13, 14 or whatnot. Also in this scene, this is where, you know, Dr. Marie says something about along the lines of, you know, have you spoken to Charles about this? And whatnot, and also brings up Charles' whole music thing, as he said, as he was very talented. I did kind of like how, and that's of course because we know Lucille doesn't like people in her business, how she kind of kept, you know, kind of took up for him, Charles just a tad, and not reveal like the whole situation with the music. And like,
Dr. Marie shouldn't even mention them.
I mean, I wouldn't mention them.
You ain't mentioned them.
I think that she did. I'm with you, Fresh. Because if it was me, guess what? And I was unhappy, man, I'm singing like a canary. You better come over here and get this cat. Yes, he ain't doing what he's supposed to do. Yeah, I would not have been Lucille. I think that she carried herself very tactfully. She didn't give him too much information. She's still playing coy. And I like that. I do like that. But I wish she would just go ahead and give him a cootie cat so we can see it, because I'm tired. And she deserves her lick back.
My man, Dr. Maurice was on a mission. He was on a mission to prove why he was the chosen, and the golden child. That's what he was on the mission for. What you asking about this man for? You asking about this man for what? I think he was just fishing just to kind of see. That's the truth, though. I'm just being 100% honest.
But you're right. It's no reason. If you weren't trying to put me, there's no reason for you to be talking about him. Why are we talking about him?
None at all. Let's cut the nonsense and let's cut the garbage. He should never had you in the first place. I'm hoping y'all on bad terms so I can slide.
Right. I'm with you.
That's it, and that's all.
I'm with you on that one.
But I'm thinking it's also because he didn't know that they were separated. Remember, which we saw in the later scene, that she finally tells him, oh, we're separated.
His approach said that he didn't even care, though.
That's what thank you, Jack and Jordans. It don't matter.
Said he didn't even care. He was trying to be respectful, but disrespectful.
Right. He was like, let me ask you about your husband to see how good y'all are. And then when she like, ain't really, they holding hands, shaking hands, holding hands. No,
He pretty much saying, I've been trying to dip P9 for the longest, but I don't want to disrespect your
That's your
marriage
husband.
and dip
So I want to see
P9.
where you at.
But I
Me and
definitely
Jack Jordan
will, because
in
I'm
the
trying to
same
see
place.
if you're willing to let me do it.
Right. He's just trying to see if she's ready to be open, because he's ready to sit down.
He's definitely. Exactly. I'm ready if you're ready.
Right.
I don't want to.
I just don't want to be. I don't want you out here saying I messed up your marriage.
Disrespect your marriage, but
Right.
I don't disrespect you.
Right. Thank you. Jack Jordan's get it. He gets it.
So we got T and Meech here at the airport after they see the pilot take off with the work. And that's when T lets Meech know that he is about to go back tender DT again with Markeisha and going to dinner. And Meech tells him, like, nah, it's family dinner at the crib. Nikki done got everything set up, so you might as well just go ahead and cancel that. And I forgot to bring, because I think we spoke about this and it just popped in my head now, just thinking about Markeisha, when Meech told T in the restaurant, he thinks that Markeisha was the one who called GPS behind it to get back at him. And Jack and George definitely did say that.
So here's the thing. At first, I was just kind of like, but I had a conversation with my wife. She was like, listen, she created a need for herself. She was like, when a woman wants something and she can have the ability to create a need for herself, she will do it.
Absolutely.
And she created a need knowing that she can help him get outside of that. Knowing that there's really no real truth, knowing there's really no true threat, because she had the ability to get him out of that. And what's the soft spot, the sore spot, if you will? Your kids. I can help you get your kids and keep your kids, but
I want you to be with me.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't even think
you got to think about it, because she was already good. He's already in that house. She's already in that house that he's paying for. He wasn't bothering her. Mm-hmm. She was good. She wants to be in his life. And the only way to establish a reason why, I got your kids back. Your wife was so on point with that.
Thanks.
I didn't even think about it. I didn't even think about it. She said it. She was just like, she just was like, listen. She knew that she can create this need and fulfill that need. And since she knew that she can do that, it was the easiest way in.
And for that, you're going to be forever grateful, right? Yep. Because I was the one that kept
my kids back.
Right.
You know what? And now that y'all say that, because when T comes over to tell Markeisha, like, hey,
it's lunch break time.
Yeah, like.
You went straight for the lunch break.
Nah, not even that. I'm talking about the scene where, like, he tells her, like, they can't go out to dinner.
No, he's saying that's what the Markeisha is, a lunch break.
Oh, gotcha. My bad.
What's your lunch break?
Been a long day.
He's a side.
Normally me and Jack.
I don't even know why she's out here expecting dinners. He has to go home to kids and a whole baby mama. Like, she gets lunch.
She's a secured side piece. Like, she has the resources that he needs to do what LaWanda's not gonna have those resources because she ain't in the game. She got those resources because she's been in the game.
That's true. So but you gotta realize the game that Tender DT is telling her, like, he's still saying, I love you, we gonna be together, I bought this crib for us and whatnot, but he's still trying to do back and forth. But this is, now that y'all said that, this brings me up to the point where
that's why I don't like T, because you're trying to do too much back. And not saying LaWanda's gonna go out here and be in the game, but I just think you should cut LaWanda off and just say, I'm gonna be here for my kids. But that's not what he's doing. We'll get there.
He should have told Markeisha the truth. LaWanda and not gonna understand what it is, whatever, because of the game that he's in. And he's trying to take yourself to a different level when it comes down to what him and Meech is doing. And Markeisha understands the game. He should have told Markeisha the truth.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And like, yo, you know what? Listen, I'm trying to. I break you up a couple of dollars. You can stay in this house. We not doing that, but I will make sure your house is paid for.
Right.
But we ain't doing that. I'll keep you away from your husband. from the
Right.
domestic issues that you had going on or whatever. I give you that.
But
We
she's
ain't doing that.
gonna
But
be together, and
But I think it's because of the simple fact I think it's more so because like he got love for LaWanda, but I think he loves Markeisha, like loves her because like remember LaWanda's been trying to get him out the game for the longest time and is still trying to get him out of the game.
and
Meanwhile,
Markeisha want to make him a boss
wants to keep
of
him
the game
in the game.
and make him a
And
boss in the
that's
game.
why I was saying to go back to what y'all was saying. Remember, she got mad right here when she like, "Oh, Meech home now. You got to go and have a family dinner." And I was thinking in my head, like Jack had said that, like, you know, like, are you for real right now? Like, this is my family. Like, this my mom's and Miss Flannery that you said last episode. How you doing? Like, yo. My mom's I have to go there, and then she brings up the whole, you know, try to fill his head up with like, you supposed to be a boss. You need to start looking at yourself like a boss, like how I see you. And I was like, man, she running game.
But it's showing. What this is doing is, to me, is showing T's maturity level, right? Like she is like
he's immature.
Like she is preying on his maturity level. Because he's like, you're supposed to be a boss of this and other. Even you could take it all the way back to the beginning where he was registering the cars at the Secretary of State. She just was kind of like, like, she even told him like when after the domestic issue, she was like, well, you wouldn't understand. You're just a kid. So why would you understand? I have the wife and kids and all that type of stuff. She's preying on that, and he's going to do everything that he can to show that he's not that. The same thing he does with Meech is that I'm not the little brother. I am the boss.
I love
his ego.
The psychology of it all. I really do love that Jack of Jordans, but it just really it reminds me of Drea. You're preying on a young man who has no sense, and they all say that men are underdeveloped as far as mentally, women. So the fact that she's this old and he's this young in his mind, fuck his age, his mind.
Y'all mature a lot faster than we do. That's a fact. We'll talk about that offline too.
I hate to use the word, you're grooming him.
Yeah. Like Jack said, we definitely gonna talk about that offline.
I'm just saying.
So we got Meech coming home, of course, with flowers, along with T, as they're about to have the family meeting. And we get our
Dirty Diana.
We get our Diana scene. Yes, I was here for it.
Dirty Diana
scene where
I loved it.
Just goes off. And I for sure, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, yo, this 92, 93. I was for sure like, Charles was like, hey, don't make me, or even Lucille was somebody who was like, hey, don't make me pull off my belt. Like, hey,
right.
You hush that. Like, we not doing this hit. Like, and she just kept on going. And I'm thinking like, and at one point, I actually thought Lucille, before she said,
go to your room.
I thought she was gonna get up and smack her.
Yo, off no boy, I was with you because I said this must be this new generation. They trying to keep it because ain't no way I'm gonna sit at the table. I was never reading anybody when I was 17, 18, or 14. I was never reading any. I didn't know what a read was. Okay. And the fact that she sat and read every adult at that table at her age, whether she be 14, 16, or 18, and didn't get her mouth slapped off is amazing to me.
I was sitting there, I
loved every minute of it.
I did. And I was just like, yo, like, wait a minute. And I found that the part that cracked me up was when she had brought up T, like he out here with the cougar
with the old Jezebel.
Yeah, with the old Jezebel, and
Meech had 2 kids before they were even able to legally drink.
Yep. Okay. So
y'all heard it, right? So here, tap me in, okay?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I said, if y'all watch Shade in the City, I'm here to represent, but I'm part of the TSF family. If y'all watch our reviews, I said many times, Meech, we done argued about this. Me and Fresh had a whole get down last week, okay? We was arguing, not even arguing, okay? Over how many kids Meech had. Jack was in it, but I'm gonna keep him out of it because it was really fresh. And he was like, no, he only has one child. Now, maybe this is just part of the storyline for the show, but Nicole said this man got 2 kids with 2 different baby mamas. And I said that would be Soraya. I don't know her name on the show, but that chick, and Mo, Cash Doll, and that little baby that he was sitting there with. And I said, that's exactly what I was saying. Thank you.
And for y'all to feel like she said, and it's crazy because when she said that,
you see my fan?
I swear, immediately as soon as she said that, I said, "Oh God." I said,
"Oh God."
Reese and Nails from Shade in the City is going to kill. I said, they're going to get me good. I said, I can already hear it. They're going to be like, where you at? We told. I'm like, man, now I got to eat my words because I was standing 10.
Oh, no, you know, I'm requiring you to be on the show tomorrow. You're required so you can get the read that you need.
I was like, yo, they going to get me good. But they end up, like you said, we have the dirty Diana moment. She gets sent upstairs, and Meech comes upstairs to talk to Nicole to see what's going on. And Nicole, is letting out her feelings and everything, and speaking on Breeze about being a boyfriend and all that different type of stuff, and tells her that, in a sense, she is scared to even call Breeze a boyfriend because of what happened to her previous boyfriend that we saw in season 1 with him getting unalived in front of her. And she's tired of being the only truthful and mature one in the family while everybody else, all the grown-ups, are basically running around just lying. And she couldn't take it no more. Truth, you could tell, because I forgot exactly what it was Meech said to her in this scene, where
he basically just said, like, I've always said I'm not gonna let anybody dictate my life and how it goes. She's like, oh, so should I run away? And he's like, nah, you ain't going nowhere. But he was basically like, just basically live your life, and I'm always gonna be here to protect you, and I'm gonna be a better, bigger brother, is what he promised her. But what I got from this scene was Nikki is tired because she's the youngest and she's the girl. They've let Meech and Terry do whatever they want, and now this poor girl can't even date. Her first boyfriend, whatever his name was unalived in front of her.
Yeah, by Lamar.
Right. And so she's just like, I don't even want to call this dude my boyfriend because the last boyfriend, I'm traumatized. Yeah. And so, he apologized, but basically, and she's like, well, why do you keep doing this, Meech? Why won't you leave the game? And she's like, and he's basically like, I've never let anybody if mom and dad can't dictate my life, I love you, sis, but this ain't gonna happen. Like, but I promise to be a better, bigger brother is what I got from that conversation.
So, listen,
did you get anything from Jack?
I heard everything that y'all said.
You was hiding. You was missing the stray bullets that was coming.
I was being. Oh no, I caught a couple. I was hitting the Matrix on y'all. I was hitting the Floyd Mayweather shoulder on y'all. But as a parent, she should have got slapped in her face.
Yes, absolutely. I agree. I 100% agree. If it was
she was way out of line. And I get what she's saying is that nobody should, I shouldn't. Nobody's exempt from whatever it is that they doing. He done had kids and this, that, and the other, or whatever. But that don't mean that you're supposed to do everything and everybody, or they wouldn't want the best for you, or what they feel as though is best for you. You still a kid. They still going based off of what they feel is best for you. If you don't like it, get out. They all got out. They didn't like it, they got out. If you don't like it, get out. Unfortunately, this is the way it is. Yep. And in my roof, under my house, and you're my responsibility. You're going to do what I say and not as I do.
Hear me out,
period.
Jack. You say that, but if it was your 14 to 16-year-old daughter and you're like, you trying to play the hard role, but real talk, the world is real out here. And if you send your daughter out here with nothing and say, get out because she thinks she grown, because as females, we have a moment where we start to smell ourselves, as they say, and then we think we grown. What's going to happen when she's like, okay, well, I'll leave. you don't really want her to leave.
No, you don't. Definitely don't want her to leave.
I've been that, and the only reason I said it is because I've been that kid, and my mom was like, "Go," and I was like, "Okay, cool." But then she calling, blowing up my phone. Where are you? What are you doing? Like, you understand?
You don't want them to rebel either. Hell, there'd be times where you don't want to be 18 when I'm getting them out, where them getting out. But you don't want them to rebel either. I mean, you have to be able to. Speaking of which, right back to Mr. Terry.
I hear.
So after that whole ordeal, Lucille comes back to Dr. Mo's office, and you can already tell she was already upset. So I was like, okay, well, Lucille about to get her look back. I was like, she about to let out some aggression, because the way she just came up in there already just on 10 and was like, yeah.
Well, first of all, she came there after hours.
That's number one. Yep, rolled out. I was like, damn, just left right after the whole dinner. Like, just rolled out, and she finally
had the girls all perked up. She was definitely she definitely went there to get her back cracked. I'm telling you, she had that little dude laid up to the side. She had the arms out. She was definitely there to get her back cracked.
Yep,
she was trying to get a prescription filled. You feel me?
Right.
The dress on, everything.
Yeah.
That's what she
was telling what she had or didn't have on up under that dress. She was trying to get a prescription filled.
I don't want to tell it. I'm just so mad she didn't do it.
Yeah, I was for sure. I was like, we finally getting it. And then,
right. My notes say we thought we were finally gonna get the scene that we wanted to see, and they didn't give it to us.
And I was like, there she go with the. I was like, but that's who we know. Lucille's been that way since.
Yeah, I'm a Christian.
Part of me was like, that's kind of, you can't throw a punch without expecting getting punched back, right?
Yeah.
So part of me was thinking that. Part of me was like, that just ain't Lucille's character. This whole time, she kind of just been like,
and to your point, it's not up with the Bible character. Mm-hmm. But it's the point of when a woman is scorned. It's like R. Kelly said, when a woman's fed up, it ain't shit you can do about it. Nothing. And so I think as women, we were all ready to see her. We all want to see her fly and be like Charles, right? Because he wasn't fixing walls and doing shit when you was. When y'all
so here's the thing. I think like women like Lucille was just like, or the character that Lucille plays is hard to come by because she put her principle above emotion.
Right.
So therefore, so that's why she didn't do what she do. Scorn or not, she put her principle above emotion. Now, if she was happily divorced or unhappily divorced, that definitely would have went down without a doubt. But she put her principle above emotion. That's why she didn't do it.
And I love that for her. And I was like, okay, Lucille. But I was just like, yeah, I wanted to see you get your lick back. I wanted to see you do Charles, how he did you. Because I hate how men can publicly embarrass you, but when a woman does it, it's so different.
Oh, I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm not saying that you're wrong at all. But when I tell people when they go for revenge, if you're looking for revenge, just go ahead and dig 2 graves because it's not going to make anything better. It's probably just going to make things worse.
Oh no!
I'm not saying that she wouldn't have been in the wrong. This is what I'll say. She would have been wrong. He just didn't have a place to be mad. You don't have no space to be mad at what she done. That's what it is. But her principle goes above her emotions. So that's why I was like,
when you go low, I'm going to hell. That's what we doing.
Okay.
I'm going to hell. You gonna feel it.
As digging 2 graves, Queen.
So, Lucille
let's do it together. Let's get the shovels.
And, they are in the crib playing Mortal Kombat, and Lucille comes back home.
Guilty as hell.
Huh?
Guilty as hell.
Guilty. You could tell it was on her face. She was like, "Huh? No, I'm just happy to see my kids, all my kids, my babies here." And I was like, "You sound guilty."
It's written all over your face.
I was like, it was like you walked in, it wasn't expecting them to be sitting on the couch.
Right.
And so you just threw that curve. And then, of course, she goes upstairs, and once again, Raw Dog Charles, I swear, it's like he just knows.
He keeps the baby oil ready.
babied oiled up again.
When did that pull-up bar come into? I could have sworn they just invented that like in 1998 and was selling it like CVS or something.
Right. I said, hey, Charles got a. I thought I was the only one that noticed that.
He had the whole door pull-up bar joint.
Right.
Like I thought when he grabbed it, I was like, he might hit the pull-up bar. And he gonna hit the peak. Then he gonna turn around and look at her, and then he gonna drop down, and then he go back up again and look at her. He gotta make sure he hit the full flex. You see the full Dorito.
I thought he was just gonna drop the towel and grab up on the pull-up bar.
Right. What? That would have been a great scene.
You know what? That would have been hilarious. I'd have like my man Ross.
Can I tell y'all? I absolutely, because she was all fiery and hot. I definitely thought she was gonna screw Charles when she came back home.
Yeah, principal.
Didn't see them like, but I think Charles clearly knew where she went.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, I'm not. And again, it's different when a woman does it. Men don't really see you. You know what I mean? Like, but when we supposed to forgive y'all and whatever. But anyway.
Man, if she would have lifted up that dress, he would have folded. He would have folded like an envelope. Yeah.
But what part I missed? Nasty ass Terry just being with Markeisha and then coming to kiss LaWanda when they got to dinner.
I noticed that too. That was
so disgusting to me. Oh,
maybe he used some mouthwash.
He probably did. Who knows?
He didn't.
But while that's going on, Roland rolls up with T and Terry and lets them know due to his son that he's out of the game. He wants to get out of the game, not fully, but he just wants to fall back as he has his child and he wants to be there for his child and he wants to take care of his child. And both of them just say, hey, it's cool. And then T says, like, you live across the street, so if we ever need to find you, we know exactly where you live. So we know that Roland.
I hate that T said that.
Yeah, it was like you just kind of messed up. Like you at least wanted to have some type of like at least make it like a fake threat. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, you out, but like
I really hate that T said that. It was kind of like, yeah, you on call though. So when I call you, you need to go ahead and just be ready because I'm calling you. So yeah, we'll get around to you when we get around to you, depending on what we need. ADT said that. Meech was kind of like, oh, no, everything is good. And this is why Meech was so respected, and it goes back to the last episode when it was like you penny pinching and this and the other. Like, Meech wouldn't have penny pinched like this and he wouldn't have did all this type of stuff. Like, the leniency and the foundation that Meech had with everybody just made him way different than T. T is, like, meticulous with everything. Like everything is a tedious task for him. Like even if I missed this part when I was talking about it. When they came to wrapping the money, that was T idea. How they wrap the money, how they wrap this in with one rubber band, this in with one rubber band, then put two rubber bands in the middle of this and another. T always moved like that. But again, you gotta know how to read the room, T.
Yeah.
You gotta know how to read the room.
Yeah. So we finally get it that we've been calling since like episode 1.
Big bank take little bank.
Which we told y'all was gonna happen. And been telling y'all since the last 2 weeks that Stacks is a snake and Snacks ends up hearing about all of the work that's got flooded down there to Atlanta from Loco. For me to connect with Loco, so he decides to call him up and like, hey man, my bad, you know what I'm saying? I just kind of
that was a country accent, fresh.
My bad, man. I lost it. Ty was mine. I'm taking care of his kids, and right here, I felt like Meech knew like he was running game. Like he like okay.
Yeah, he absolutely knew.
Like okay, cool. Like
I don't. Here's the thing though. Like I think I'd have been more okay of him just having jealousy of Meech and Meech just coming into town and saying, "Yeah, I'm just gonna like he's gonna take over Atlanta." I think with him, the way that he went when he's saying this for Ty, like Meech been saying this for Ty the whole time, and he's proven that. Like he even was trying to give him the money off the Rolex that he had pawned. So now it's just kind of like I don't know. I just hate the way they wrote that. They could have did that. They could have did at least that part a little bit better, to me.
Go ahead, Treat.
Even though I love 2 Chainz, okay. Even though I'm here with the 2 Chainz character, I actually don't want to see him get killed off. Even though he's one of those, I need him to be snaky and stick around because I like him. But my whole thing is, Meech, who you are and what you do. If you really wanted to take care of Ty and his kids, you can go to. Y'all could bring young Miami back real quick, and y'all could give her money directly, or there could be a scene where you say, "I sent Deanna some money directly." Why does it need to go through Stacks? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but
so I just felt like I was just like, Meech, you know you're getting played, and that's what I didn't understand because I feel like he knows that he's about to play him. He's about.
Remember when he told Duffy?
Go ahead.
I was about to say, remember when he told Duffy like they were selling the prices, and he said if it ever gets out, we know exactly where it came from. Like he told him the prices of the work on purpose, like just to see exactly like. Because I could tell like he stopped. He ain't really trust him that much by his movement. So I think Meech knows what's up. So
is this one of these things where it's like keep your enemies close, like keep your friends close, but your enemies closer? Because I don't understand why you just didn't cut him out and stay out. That's what I'm saying.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. So we got Stacks here talking to Glock and his right hand man. I think it's Chachaka. However you pronounce it, and basically both of them, they speak in Haitian, which was
I don't know. They said "sapase nabule." That's all I know.
They speak in Haitian, and Stacks don't have a clue what they talking about, but basically they are just talking about how dumb he is, which lets me know that even if Stacks did get back in and they ended up taking out Meech and T, you would have been right there next to him. They would have
you out of here. I think to go get him out of here anyway. I think his days are numbered. Remember, I told you I was like, at first I thought like Stacks was solid. Then I was like, you know what? Unfortunately, his days are going to be numbered because I already don't see no use for his character that long. Stacks' days is numbered. MK is going to take him out. He's not going to be able to. He's not going to be able to deliver probably. And then they gonna go ahead and just be like, all right, well, you useless then. What we need you for? Because you couldn't even deliver what we need you to deliver. Bye.
Agree.
Or they just probably end up just telling, or Meech just ends up finding out somehow, some way. So up on the next episode, which was an extremely short trailer, we didn't even get.
I didn't even see the trailer. That's the bad part.
I didn't even see the trailer either.
That's how short it was. That trailer was every bit of like 10 seconds. So on the trailer, we see Meech, Duffy, T, and Rip. They show up to Techwood. They show up to Techwood, and Claude and all them come up. Which, in my opinion, I'm thinking maybe they're going to Techwood that possibly try to make some type of deal with Remy Ransom or something. I don't know, because I was confused at the whole trailer why they even went to Techwood. But while they're at Techwood, the Miami Killers pop up and all hell breaks loose. They got the Miami Killers shooting, and we see T and all of them ducking, returning fire. And this is why I possibly think, and I could be wrong, I'm waiting to see more once we get the photos and stuff, that possibly maybe this is where BMF and Techwood join up to try to take out the MKs. Because as we see, Glock shows up and he's the one with the AK. We all know he's trying to take out Meech and T. And we see, of course, Meechy is firing back. And that is literally it. That's all the trailer is. That's the trailer. That's it. That's all you see. What you just saw is literally the trailer.
Damn it, I'm frozen again.
You all good. So
she said, damn it, I'm frozen.
I feel like Elsa.
But yes, y'all make sure to come back and catch our review for episode 5 next week. Also, we will be dropping our Our prediction video up on Monday as usual. And please make sure tomorrow to go stop by It's Tree Shade in the City as they do their review tomorrow night on BMF. So we will see y'all next week.